talk about melanin. Is it melanin or is it carbon? And the science. Why do I question science of the day? The main reason I question science of the day is because from the inception of European science, it has divorced itself from anything spiritual. It has divorced itself from the divine, and therefore able to commit any type of atrocity. And there's also the difference between actual science and corporate science, because anything that is corporately sponsored science is biased to the corporations that sponsored it. Anyway, let me continue and get this video started. Now, what is melanin? According to the science of the day, melanin is a carbon-based natural pigment found in most organisms, responsible for a variety of colors in the skin, hair, and eyes. It is produced through a complex process called melanogenesis, primarily in specialized cells known as melanocytes, which are located in the base layer of the epidermis. Melanin is said to not be pure carbon, but is a complex bipolymer that contains carbon as one of the primary elements. It is composed of various organic molecules, including carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. These elements form intricate structures that contribute to the pigment's properties and functions. Going into the types of melanin. According to the science of the day, there are 3 types of melanin: eumelanin, pheomelanin, and neuromelanin. Eumelanin is a type that is most common and responsible for black and brown colors in the hair, skin, and eyes. It provides protection against UV radiation. Pheomelanin is a type that produces red and yellow hues. It is found in high concentration in people with red hair and contributes to the pinkish hue of the lips and certain areas of the skin like the palm and the soles of the feet. Neuromelanin is a type found in various parts of the brain, though its function is not as well understood as the other 2 types. Science does not understand neuromelanin, but they have identified it. Now, the functions of melanin. It protects against UV radiation by absorbing the UV light from the sun, protecting the cells from DNA damage, which can lead to skin cancers. Eumelanin is particularly effective at this. Determining the skin color. Now, the amount and type of melanin produced by melanocytes determines an individual's skin color. Higher melanin levels result in darker skin tones, while lower levels result in lighter skin tones. Melanin also has antioxidant properties, which can neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress in cells. The influence on the eye and hair color. The concentration of the iris determines eye color, with higher levels leading to darker eyes and hairs. Lower levels leading to lighter eyes, and lighter hair follicles. Now, the process of melanogenesis involves several steps. First, the synthesis of tyrosine. The amino acid tyrosine is converted into dopoquinone through the action of the enzyme thyrokinase. Formation of the melanin precursors, dopoquinone, undergoes a series of chemical reactions, leading to the production of intermediate molecules. Polymerization. These intermediate molecules polymerize to form different types of melanin. Genetic and environmental influences. Now, the genes play a significant role in determining the type and amount of melanin produced by an individual. Variations in genes related to melanogenesis can lead to different in the skin, the hair, and the eyes, as stated before. Environmental factors. Exposure to the UV radiation stimulates melanin production, leading to tanning of the skin as a protective response from the UV radiation. Hormonal changes and certain medications can also affect melanin production. Disorders related to melanin. First up is albinism, which is a genetic condition characterized by a lack of melanin production, leading to very light skin, hair, eyes, and very sensitive to the UV radiation. Vitiligo, an autoimmune condition where melanocytes are destroyed, resulting in white patches on the skin. Melasma, characterized by dark, discolored patches on the skin, often caused by hormonal changes and sun exposure. Now, melanin is crucial for protecting the skin from UV damage, determining pigmentation, and even influencing the appearance of individuals. The production and regulation are complex processes influenced by genetics and environmental factors. Now, the chemical structure of melanin, the eumelanin, consists of polymers derived from oxidation of the amino acid tyrosine, specifically forming units of dihydroxidol, and they call it DHI. So that's dihydroxidol. And of course, dihydroxidol 2 carbolic acid, which is DHICA. These units are rich in carbon atoms, arranged in aromatic rings and complex polymer structures. Pheomelanin. This type includes benzothiazine and benzothiazole, which also contain carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur atoms. Melanin as a bipolymer. The structure of melanin is characterized by a network of indolic and other heterocyclic compounds. The presence of aromatic carbon-based rings and conjugated double bonds in its structure gives melanin a unique ability to absorb a broad spectrum of light, including the UV radiation. Now, the importance of carbon in melanin plays a crucial role in forming the backbone of the complex molecular structure. The aromatic rings and the extensive conjugated systems which involve carbon atoms are responsible for the pigment's color and its ability to absorb light and neutralize free radicals. Therefore, while melanin contains a significant amount of carbon, they claim that it's not just carbon, it is a complex organic compound with specific structures and functions. The presence of other elements such as hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, along with the specific arrangement of these atoms, distinguish melanin from simple carbon-based substances like graphite or diamond. Melanin is said to have several potential and emerging commercial uses due to its unique properties such as the ability to absorb the UV light, antioxidant capabilities, and biocompatibility. Here are some notable commercial applications of melanin. Cosmetics and skincare. UV protection. Melanin is incorporated into sunscreens and other skincare products to enhance UV production. Its natural ability to absorb UV rays help to protect the skin from sun damage. And this is why when persons look at themselves under UV light when they're wearing suntan lotion, they will say that their skin is black. In the medical and pharmaceutical applications. Drug delivery systems. Melanin nanoparticles can be used to improve the delivery of drugs, especially for so-called cancer treatment, due to their biocompatibility and ability to target specific tissues. Photothermal therapy. Melanin's ability to absorb light and convert it into heat is utilized in photothermal therapy for treating tumors. Biomaterials and biodegradable polymers. Biocompatible coatings. It can be used as a strong coating for medical implants and devices to improve their compatibility with human tissue. Tissue engineering. The biocompatibility makes melanin a suitable material for scaffolds in the tissue. Engineering, promoting cell growth and tissue generation. In electronics and optoelectronics. Organic semiconductors. Melanin's unique electronic properties make it a candidate for organic semiconductor in electric devices. In UV sensors. Due to the high UV absorption capacity, it can be used in the development of UV sensors and other optoelectric devices. Environment and industrial applications. In so-called pollution control, it has potential for environmental cleanup, such as removing heavy metals from water due to the fact that it binds to heavy metals. Protective coating. Melanin-based coatings can provide protection to materials from UV damage and oxidative stress, enhancing the durability of products exposed to harsh environmental conditions. Textiles and fashion. UV protective clothing can incorporate melanin into fabrics to produce clothing that offers protection against the UV radiation, beneficial for outdoor wear. In the food industry, natural colorants. Melanin can be used as a natural food colorant due to the pigmentation properties, providing an alternative to synthetic dyes. Agriculture. Crop protection. Melanin-based products can be used to protect crops from UV damage and oxidative stress, potentially enhancing crop yield and quality. While most of these applications are promising, many are still in research and development phase. Advances in the biotechnology field and material science are continuously expanding the potential uses of melanin, making it a so-called exciting area of exploration for future commercial applications. Now, this is according to the science. I'm going to go ahead and play the video for Dr. Sebi, who argues that it is not melanin, it is carbon.
Or whatever they are.
Melanin is not a mineral.
Okay.
Melanin is a word that was used to describe a certain biological function. But that particular identification or category or thing, melanin, is a European identification of what they think activates those neurons in our body that makes us black. But when you break down our body, our biological structure, into what we would have to put it in, which is chemistry, biochemistry, melanin has no place. It's not to be found. What is found in the body that is attributed to melanin is carbon. Carbon not only determines the quality of life in black folks, carbon determines the quality of life in every living plant that exists that is natural. If carbon is absent, there's no life. Melanin, what is it? I don't know.
Why are white people trying to get some? It's a Greek word, melanos.
Well, white folks talk about protein. What is protein? They say one of the 19 amino acids, the building blocks of life. But I know for a fact that that is not a true statement. Because protein, if it was the building block of life, what happened to the gorilla that lives 180 years without eating anything that's contained protein? Unless they're going to say that the plants contain protein too. They're always saying things, and because we have no laboratories to investigate those things, then we have to swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Miss Frances Welsing mentioned melanin. And I asked her, what is this thing? And I know she could not adequately answer the question because she was trained by someone European. So when you are trained by a European and told these things, you have to regurgitate these things. But no, they are completely in error.
Okay, we're going to take a little break for the phone.
We have to be careful. Remember, it is like a brother recommended that you use comfrey for your bones. That is in the books. From a European philosophical base. But when you look at the comfrey bit, you find that comfrey contains starch. Again, another European philosophy. Melanin falls under the same category. It is a belief, not a reality. I was told in Washington, D.C. that I was violating one of the most sacred code or law of nutrition when I deprive a killer stroud of protein. So I asked Dr. Steinberg and Dr. Glutt at the Georgetown Pediatric Hospital, did you give her protein 5 times a day? You did. Was she under your care for 2 years? Yes. Now, if she did not receive any of those things that you call protein, and she no longer has sickle cell anemia. So where is the validity of this thing we call protein? Is it equity or is it deficit? We don't know. This is why Dr. Sebi, when he embarked on this journey of healing, many was asking me, well, why are you so concerned with the scientific aspect of this thing? I say it is necessary not to heal. To heal, it is necessary to understand the scientific aspect of it. But you must understand the herb that corresponds with the disease that is manifesting. And the only way you could do that in the Western world, and to prove that you would be respected as someone that could be of usefulness, is to enhance oneself with the words that describe certain things. And that is the science of biochemistry. I had to, because my challenges would be from a scientific base. And if I didn't understand science, then I would be lost. And they would gain momentum when they should not. So I decided to go into the scientific understanding of these things we call herbs. And what we found, that there is nothing on the planet that assimilate and could be of usefulness, save that substance is electrical. And the only electric substance on the planet is a natural plant. Not comfrey, golden seal, peppermint, aloe vera, and the rest. They are hybrids. But how many brothers and sisters in America or anywhere in the world qualifies to offer a challenge when we have nothing to test that which we are given for validity? No, I do not subscribe to melanin or to comfrey. So we have to again go back to the drawing board. The Usha research disregard the word melanin. For instance, if melanin determined life, why is it then that when people come to us with nerve problems, with energy problems, we give them the substance known as iron, which is a mineral. Straining that iron with carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, the CHO chain is the chain of life. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Melanin has no place in that biochemical structure. So I'm very extremely sorry.
Now, an important point to note is the fact that melanin has the ability to bind to heavy metals, because heavy metals affect persons with higher melanin content more than persons with a low, because it will bind to the carbon molecules much more readily. And what does that tell you? That tells you that we are more affected by lead, mercury, cadmium, and other dangerous heavy metals that are in the environment. It has the ability to bind to the melanin molecule, thereby staying in the system potentially forever. This research should also tell you that melanin is now being artificially created in the form of a fungus in order to do certain things for commercial usage. Let that sink in for a moment. Seems to me the science of the day has listened to what Dr. Sebi has actually said and done their best to include hydrogen, nitrogen, as well as carbon into their equation of melanin. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, as well as the carbon, is what they have revised melanin to be comprised of. So according to Dr. Sebi, melanin, the word itself, should be disregarded because the building blocks of life itself is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. As he plainly stated, melanin has no place in those three. So, who do I listen to? Do I listen to a medical establishment that is responsible for the deaths of millions of people, with a pharmaceutical industry that issues things that only treat a symptom and doesn't address any curing, makes it illegal for you to say that anything can be cured? Or do I trust Dr. Sebi, who has actually done his research and has actually helped people regardless of the race that they are? I think I'm going with Dr. Sebi on this one. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. This is